Have you ever seriously wondered what happens after we die? Well, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating spiritual framework that tries to map out the soul's entire journey. And I mean the whole thing, not just in the afterlife, but starting right here, right now. It's a system with its own states, its own rules, and even its own hierarchy. So let's get into it.
I mean, it's the big one, isn't it? The question humanity has been asking forever. Is it just the end or a brand new beginning? Well, the system we're exploring today suggests it's neither of those, really. It's more of a transition, a change in state that's apparently governed by a very clear, very specific set of rules. All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We're going to start with the very nature of a soul, then move into how it's classified after death, and then we'll land on this really surprising principle that puts the power of all this right back into your hands. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. To really get our heads around this system, we first have to understand what a soul, or the spiritual energy, actually is. According to this framework, it moves through three pretty distinct phases. So, it all starts as this pure elemental energy, just out there in nature. When that energy enters a human body, it's called Hon-gi. That's us, right now, living, breathing beings. Then, after physical death, when that energy leaves the body, it transforms into the Hon-gi state. So you see, in this view, death isn't an end at all. It's just a transformation from Hon-gi to Hon-gi. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. It turns out that not all souls in that Hon-gi state are created equal. As soon as they transition, they get categorized or graded, and it's based entirely on the quality of the life they lived when they were here on Earth. Basically, this hierarchy is broken down into three main levels. You've got your lower, your middle, and your upper grade spirits. And where a soul ends up has huge implications, not just for its own journey, but also for those of us they left behind. The central idea is actually pretty simple. A heavy life creates a heavy soul. If you live a life full of attachments, unfulfilled purpose, just kind of wandering, you create a soul that's too heavy to go anywhere. It stays stuck, tethered to the earthly realm. But if you live a life for others, a life of purpose, you create a light soul, one that can rise up to a higher plane. What you do here literally decides where you go next. So let's zoom in on those lower grade spirits for a minute, because this is where the system gets very personal. The source material says that many of these earthbound spirits are our own ancestors. But why? Why do they stick around? The core reason comes down to a concept called Japgi, which basically means attachment. This happens when an ancestor lived their entire life, not for themselves, but only for their kids and grandkids. Since they never found or fulfilled their own life's purpose, they stay attached to this plane, trying to live it out through their family. Now this is such a powerful reframe. These lingering spirits, these ancestors, they aren't meant to be seen as something evil or scary. They're part of your story. They're the reason you're even here. The relationship isn't about fear, it's about connection. And you could even say a kind of responsibility. And that brings us to the most important and maybe most surprising part of this whole framework. If these energies are connected to us, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, the answer is probably not what you think. This is the question everyone asks, right? If there's a wandering spirit around, how do you do a ritual or an exorcism or something to just make it go away? The answer is, you don't. You don't get rid of them. Trying to force them out misses the entire point, because the real solution has almost nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. This right here is the core mechanic of the entire system. Like attracts like. Your own spiritual state, your own frequency, your own vibration is what determines the kind of spiritual energy you resonate with and draw into your life. It's that simple. Let's walk through how this plays out. Say you're living a life without clear purpose. You feel kind of lost, just wandering. Well, your frequency is a match for those wandering ancestral spirits, and they're naturally drawn to you. But let's say you start to study, to grow, to find your purpose and live a more conscious life. Your own frequency begins to change. You become lighter, and all of a sudden, those lower grade spirits, they can't connect with you anymore. The energetic gap is just too big. They fall away on their own, not because you push them away, but because you outgrew their frequency. So when you create this kind of energetic space by leveling yourself up, what fills it? That old energy is gone. Well, as you tune into a higher frequency, you start to pick up a completely different kind of broadcast. Those lower grade spirits are then replaced by the upper grade spirits we were talking about before, the ones who live those selfless, purposeful lives. They become your guides, drawn to your new, higher frequency to help you on your own path. And how do they help? It's not like in the movies. It's subtle. They help by boosting your intuition, sending you messages in your dreams, giving you those sudden aha moments of insight. They spark inspiration. It's all about those gut feelings. It's a partnership, not a possession. And this is what it all boils down to. The ultimate takeaway is that it all comes back to you. You can't really guide any other soul, ancestral or not, if you haven't first done the hard work of enlightening yourself. In this system, real spiritual progress isn't about rituals for others. It's about your own personal growth.
So we're left with this really powerful final thought to chew on. If your life is constantly broadcasting your energy out into the universe, what frequency are you on? And maybe more importantly, what and who are you attracting because of it?